You're 14 years old, standing in a marble hallway polished so brightly it reflects the torchlight like water. A girl is being dragged past you. She isn't resisting. She isn't screaming. She isn't even blinking. Two palace servants pull her by the arms. Her body hangs heavy, uncooperative, as if whatever made her her was removed somewhere behind those doors. Her heels scrape against the stone, leaving faint white marks. Her eyes are open, but empty. 3 days ago, she was laughing in the room beside yours. This morning, the summons came for her. Now she's something else. A servant catches you staring. Her grip is iron as she yanks you backward into your room. "Never watch," she whispers. "And when they come for you, don't fight." Rome, 39 AD. You've been confined to a place called the Garden of Venus for 6 days, and only now do you understand what it really is. Your father told you this was an honor. Your mother cried quietly as the carriage climbed the hill toward the imperial palace. Neighbors watched with envy. No one told you the truth. No one told you that the most powerful man on earth had turned the Roman Empire into a human catalog, where girls' names were carved onto wax tablets alongside their ages, their appearances, their family reputations, and summoned one by one. And when they returned, they were never the same. This is what happened inside Caligula's palace. And the most terrifying part isn't the emperor himself, it's that everyone knew. The senators knew, the guards knew, the parents knew, and no one stopped it. To understand how this could happen, you have to understand how Caligula was made. Because monsters like this aren't born, they're engineered. The year is 19 AD. A small boy races through a Roman military camp, laughing as soldiers cheer him on. He wears a miniature uniform, tiny armor, a child-sized sword, and little red boots. The soldiers adore him. They call him Caligula, Little Boots. He's the son of Germanicus, Rome's greatest general in a generation. To the army, this child is a good luck charm. He has no idea what's coming. Within a year, his father is dead. Officially, illness. Unofficially, poison. Whispers say the order came from Emperor Tiberius. Caligula is 8 years old when the dismantling of his family begins. His mother is arrested, accused of treason, and exiled, where she is slowly starved to death. His eldest brother is imprisoned, driven so mad by hunger, he chews the stuffing from his mattress. His second brother is tortured on a remote island until he smashes his own skull against stone to escape. One by one, they disappear. By the time Caligula is 19, he is the last survivor. Then comes the invitation. Tiberius summons him to Capri. Ancient historians describe Capri as a private nightmare, an island fortress where the emperor indulged in every cruelty far from Rome's eyes. And into this place walks a young man who knows the emperor murdered his family, but he doesn't react. He can't. One wrong glance, one moment of rage, and he's dead. Suetonius later wrote something chilling. No one was ever a better servant or a worse master. For 6 years, Caligula observes, learns, memorizes. He studies power from the inside. Then, in 37 AD, Tiberius dies. Some say of old age. Others say Caligula pressed a pillow over his face. Either way, the hostage becomes emperor. Rome celebrates. They believe they're welcoming the son of Germanicus. They have no idea what they've unleashed. For 7 months, Caligula plays the role perfectly. Prisoners are freed. Money flows to the people. Games fill the arenas. Then he falls gravely ill. Weeks of fever, delirium, near death. And when he recovers, something inside him is gone. What emerged was not the same man. Soon after, imperial agents begin moving through Rome and the surrounding provinces. They aren't recruiting soldiers, they're collecting girls. Ages 12 to 16. Faces deemed pleasing. Virginity assumed, confirmed by reputation or inspection. Noble families, poor families, no one is exempt. Suetonius describes young women escorted to the palace, Examine the way enslaved people were once inspected in markets. Even he, who documented Rome's most extreme excesses, hesitates when writing what followed. Records were kept. Wax tablets listing names, ages, physical traits, family connections. This wasn't impulse, it was administration. Officials carried imperial seals that opened any door. They worked in pairs, filed reports, met quotas. This wasn't madness, it was bureaucracy. And that's what made it horrifying. Parents didn't resist. In Roman society, honor outweighed everything. Being chosen by the emperor was framed as a blessing. Families dressed their daughters in white, braided flowers into their hair. Some mothers cried, but softly, because grief implied doubt, and doubt implied disloyalty. So the girls were delivered. The place they were sent to was called the Garden of Venus. The name was a lie. Silk draped every wall. Perfume filled the air. Food was rich, endless, intoxicating. Servants smiled constantly. It looked like paradise. That was the trap. The girls couldn't leave, couldn't speak to family, didn't know the date, didn't know why they were there. They only waited. At night, footsteps echoed down the halls. A door would open. A girl would be taken. Sometimes she returned, quiet, altered. Sometimes she never came back. Servants reported everything. Tears, whispers, friendships. Girls who bonded were separated because connection creates strength. Isolation creates obedience. Modern psychology calls this learned helplessness, the state where the mind stops resisting because resistance changes nothing. First you fight, then you give up, then you stop feeling. By the time Caligula summoned them, many were already broken. That was the design, and the girls were only part of it. Caligula wanted Rome itself humiliated. According to Cassius Dio, imperial banquets became performances of terror. Senators drank wine beneath marble ceilings, pretending nothing was wrong. Then Caligula would rise, walk among them, and select a wife. He would take her away. Her husband stayed seated, silent, because objection meant execution, because protest meant annihilation. One senator, Valerius Asiaticus, endured this. When his wife was returned, Caligula described everything, mocking, comparing, laughing. Asiaticus smiled. 3 years later, he joined the conspiracy to kill the emperor, because humiliation lingers. Caligula understood something crucial. Shared guilt binds people. Once you participate, even by silence, you're trapped. He even loaned palace girls to senators. Accept, and you're complicit. Refuse, and you insult the emperor. There was no escape, but Caligula overlooked one group, the guards. The Praetorian Guard stood beside him daily, armed, trained, close enough to kill. One of them was Cassius Chaerea, a veteran officer with a high voice that amused the emperor endlessly. Daily mockery, public humiliation, passwords turned into insults. Caligula thought him harmless. He was wrong. January 24th, 41 AD. An underground corridor beneath a theater. Narrow, dark. Chaerea steps forward and asks for the daily password. Caligula smirks. He begins another joke. He never finishes. Chaerea drives a blade beneath his ribs and shouts, "Take this!" Conspirators close in. 30 wounds. They don't stop until the body is unrecognizable. The emperor is dead. His wife is killed. His 2-year-old daughter is executed. No heirs. The machine ends. But what about the girls? Claudius, the next emperor, faces a choice. Expose the truth and shatter Rome, or bury it. He chooses silence. The girls are sent home quietly with gifts, gold, jewels, silk. Not justice, payment for forgetting. Most families accept. What else could they do? The damage was permanent. Some survivors never allowed touch again. Some flinched at footsteps. Some stopped speaking entirely. A century later, the physician Galen described women who had survived captivity, loss of speech, numbness, sleepless terror. He never named the Garden of Venus. Maybe he didn't know, or maybe he wasn't allowed to say. Most records were destroyed. What survives comes from fragments, memories, whispers copied by monks who didn't understand what they preserved. The garden is gone now, but memory isn't. The girl from the hallway, the one without a name, was real. She was more than an entry on a tablet. She mattered. And that's the final horror. Empires don't collapse because they're cruel. They endure because cruelty becomes routine, because everyone finds a reason to stay quiet, until one person finally breaks.